go to MarketChameleon.com. You can walk through with Will what he's actually doing. And if you have any questions, again, just put them in the question tab down below. So Will's on Market Chameleon. Will, why don't you show us how to set up a watch list real quick?
I'm already obviously logged in. My name's Will, but you would have to first set up an account. That's the one thing we require to set up a watch list is you would set up your account. So you'd click on the right-hand corner to set up your account, or anywhere on the site where you see a stock, like here, WFC, it has a plus. If you want to add it to your account, you would click on that. So let's just give that an example. WFC in the right-hand corner. I click on the plus, and you can add. It says add WFC to your watch list, and these are my watch lists right now. I am always and have always been concerned with earnings. I think that is one of the great spots to play, participate in an options trade transaction. So I would just add WFC to my earnings plays. All right, right there, add, and it's in. The other way is to go up here, click on your watch list, and you would just click on create new. You would name one. Let's say cool trades. Save it.
Now, just so you guys, if you missed it, there's a drop down there for stocks. There's always pay attention to those drop downs. But the key point here is that you can create multiple watch lists. You don't have to have just one big watch list. You know, you can create watch lists for the tech sector or the biotech sector, whatever you want. You can have multiple watch lists, which are super useful as you browse through the site, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that.
Awesome.
Sorry to cut you off there, brother.
No worries. So the next thing I'd like to show, and this is you know, as I'm sure a lot of people. What was the poll numbers on the intermediate?
We're about 80% intermediate, so these guys know pretty much know what they're doing.
Probably a lot of users. But one of the great free features, and I think one of the best calendars in the space, is our earnings calendar. So I use that every day. So if you click on the earnings calendar, it's not a massive earnings season, but you can see this is today, July 12th. You can also import your watch list. If you click on the drop down, all your watch lists can be imported to see the stocks in it when their earnings are. But the key feature, and Adam, if you're following along and want to repeat it if it sounds really bad, these alerts on the up right-hand corner, they show up on a lot of pages, but they're really good on these internal pages when you're looking at the individuals. And right in JP Morgan, we're showing 2 alerts. And this happens to be a premium feature, but there's an earnings stock pattern that's been detected and an earnings option pattern detected. So that would alert me that, you know, I'm looking at the bank earnings tomorrow. Let's see if there's something I may want to participate in. So I'll click on the earnings start pattern detected. And so we have very useful tabs up top. Earnings dates. These are all the previous earnings dates. You can take a look at how they performed, what's coming up in the past, opening gaps, drift since the last earnings, since last earnings range since last earnings. So much useful information here. Earnings charts. This will compare what the I in the graph here are the expected earnings move. These are the actual moves. Red dictates, you know, the stock sold off. This green, the stock moved higher. This below is the IV30 before and after earnings, also a real nice feature to take a look at. And so we were looking at the earnings stock patterns. And what I think is really, and I'm looking at it, 2 weeks before earnings, the average price change has been up 1.2%. 2 days before earnings is 0.8%. And then earnings day, there seems to be a gap has shown up 9 of 12 times here, 75% positive occurrences in the last 12 earnings. 2 days before earnings is 4 in a row positive occurrences. And if you click on the show table, you can get a view, which is nice.
You guys see that? I just want to make sure you all see that because I know sometimes people have smaller screens. Will, why don't you hover over it again You guys see that the show and table link right there on all the right there. Which go ahead, click it, Will. You can when you click it, guys, it'll highlight the data in yellow.
I'm going to 2 weeks before earnings, looking at this average price change of 1.2%. It's happened 5 of 6 last earnings, 83% positive occurrences. I'm going to show that in the table.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
And so I'm looking at that, and I see it looks like the stock moves. Well, we not looking at this 2 weeks before, so we can maybe look at this and say, wow, is there anything interesting to do? Let's look at the earnings option strategies. That's another one up here that's detected. Now I can either click on this or just go to it right in this tab here. There are 2 functionalities, but we know it's an issue. So selling out of the money calls was an average return of 44.3%, 11 of the last 12, 90% win occurrence. Again, I can show in the table.
Yep. One thing you guys should see right here, Will, why don't you highlight in the middle of the table, it says selling options, buying options. I know a lot of you guys don't have accounts where you can actually sell options. So you can hit that toggle button right in the middle there. Will, why don't you show them that toggle?
It's going to
nice
show a lot of
right
red
there. Yep.
It's
so there, guys. Now you see all buying options, right?
That's buying options. Obviously, it's the inverse of selling the options. So the return is going to be different. So what I would do, because I'd rather buy an option here as well and limit my risk. So I remember when I go back to the earnings stock patterns, it looks like the move has been higher in the last couple. So what I would go to next is say, well, can I put on is there a spread trade I can do? So I know my full risk. And one of the great features is, now it's a premium feature, but it's a screener for different spreads. So I would look for a bull call spread to take advantage of that, those recent occurrences of moves higher in the stock. And I'd want to sell the out of the money call to take advantage of this, but I'd buy a in the money call. So I would want to see if there were any bull spreads. This is what I would do. I'm not saying this is what you should do, but this is something.
Do you guys know what bull call spreads are in the chat? Just say yes or no. You guys know what bull call spreads are? I see Brett knows. Danon, Clue, yep. Chris, yes. Goku. Sorry if I got your name wrong. Yes. Glenn, yes. Gene, yes. Luis, yeah. Everybody's yes, man.
Well, that's awesome. So I love yes.
Go a little deeper with that then. Go give some good info here. What are you looking at specifically?
So we're gonna go for the bull call spread, and we're gonna want to look for something that has some downside cushion protection. We're gonna look for a call that's probably in the money to sell those upside calls against. So we'll do this. Is summarized everything with the next expiration, which is July. Well, it's the next expiration on the 3-month or the 3-week calendar, the busiest one. So I could actually, this is probably the most premium in those upside calls. The spread difference between spreads right here, we'll do a maximum of one strike, $5 wide. So we're gonna look at that, and I'm gonna, in the search here, I'm gonna put JP Morgan, because that's what that's the stock we were looking at. And I'll hit return, and that will load, and we'll see if there are any JP Morgan bull call spreads that show up.
Okay, now let me just explain something to everybody real quick while we're waiting on that. In that screener right there are a lot of different data points, right, guys? So in ETF, stock price, percentage from 52-week high low. Look at that as you can save that, right? So you create your own data points that you like to look at. On the bottom right, you can click Save New Filter. And just like saving a watch list, you bring it up, you name the filter whatever you want, and then it saves that filter. So next time you come to it, you just click on the left, you click Load Existing Filters, and you can have 20 different filters that auto-load for you. It just saves you a ridiculous amount of time getting you guys the data you need, right? So Will's adding one now.
I'm saving this filter, earnings play. So it's saved. It
Right.
should be in the drop down. There you go. All right.
So I know you guys aren't always. Sometimes we can't see the drop down arrows because the webinar software we're using is a little bit doesn't really work with that. But you can always you can see the loading existing filters. They're right there. So sorry to cut you off there, brother. Go ahead and walk us through JP.
But here's JP Morgan. Everything that's showing up as a bull call spread to take advantage of the recent series of things that show up as an opportunity with the stock. The stock seems to drift higher 2 days before, and then after earnings, there's a drift. So I would look at these bull call spreads, and it shows great information here. What you're going to pay, the max gain if it actually the trade runs to expiration, the stock price. And you remember, you're buying in the money, so there's actually this is a great feature. This downside cushion if break even, that actually shows what the stock actually has to go against you until you start losing money. And so there are spreads sitting out there where you actually have a nice cushion. So it gives you a full list of potential bull call spreads that I would look to. For me, I would look to put it on today and take it off, after expiration. So there you go.
That's good, man. That's good info. I just want to remind people, because I see like KT entering questions in the chat. Don't do it there, guys, because we get a lot of chats coming through. I might miss it. So be sure, if you have questions. The question was, does the filter remember dates and that sort of thing? Click it in the tab, the question tab, which is below the screen. Click it down there and enter in your question there, and we'll get to all the questions at the end of the presentation. So walk through earnings calendar, upcoming analysis.
Adam, you there? Just so you're aware, my partner Dimitri is on, so he, I'm sure, is trying to fire through and answer any questions he can.
I know he is, but the problem is that people, like, that's a good question. And I want everybody in the webinar to have access to that question and answer, right?
I got you.
So everybody can get value from that, right?
Awesome.
So that's the idea.
You're a man who discovers value. I love that about you.
So Will's walked us through the alerts, upcoming analysis, strategy. Geez, did you touch on all that stuff, man? Geez, you already touched on basically all that stuff.
Well, I mean, listen, you want more than one trade, right? I mean, you want to look for other things. So just continue to use that calendar. Well, actually, just for people who don't, some great features that it's hard to fathom how many things sit on this site that are great. But one of the great features, if we go back to the earnings page, and this is on every page next to every stock symbol, if people aren't aware of it, I know when you're doing your research, you always have questions. Wow, look, well, let's go to tomorrow's earnings so we know. Wow, look, JP Morgan, we looked at WFC. I wonder where the stock price is. I wonder what was their dividend last time. And rather than jumping around pages, and I forget which genius in the Chameleon community, it may have been Dimitri or his brother Alex, figured this out. But this is an awesome feature, this fact sheet. You click on that while you're on any page, any stock, and boom, you have all this information right in front of you. And questions that you may have been jumping back page and page, you can find about the company, get some basic charts.
Go ahead, click on some of those so people can see. I mean, yeah, look at all the tabs, all that data. You don't even need to leave the page.
I mean, implied vol traders, love. We chart it in many different ways. Historical IV versus, previous close, option volume. You can go to the option chain. I'm sure everyone's taking advantage. Our option chain is incredible. It's what we've used our whole professional career. I don't know where else on the web you can see something like that with no registration, anything. It's just available to everyone. It is just a dynamite feature.
Hey, quick question, Will. Can you show how to change the dates around option strategies around the earnings?
In what sense are you talking about?
There's a filter to remind of the upcoming dates in the earnings option strategy screener.
All right,
So the earnings option strategy screener. That's Dimitri's like, he's texting me, hey man, he's in the chat. So Dimitri wants you to, he obviously loves this feature.
It's probably Dimitri's favorite feature, and it is a great feature. We didn't go to this page yet, but this is let's make everyone aware. This is a different page. I just jumped to it just so they know where it is. Again, it's a premium feature. So if you go to earnings, well, let's start after the calendar. That's the what sits on the site for everyone to see. So they're then premium feature, future dates, upcoming earnings analysis, which is a great idea generator as well. And then there's the earnings option screener right here. So if you click on that, these are all upcoming earnings and different option strategies before. So you can go in here and you can see, I want to do something in my watch list potentially, but let's do a range, 2 weeks before. So this will search for a trade you'd put on 2 weeks before the coming earnings, and let's say maybe take off the day before earnings, but you can choose the day of earnings trading, the day after, 2 days after, 3 days after. So this will actually, this is great because it will give you a list of potential options for trading.
Right.
So let's go 2 weeks before a trade, and then you take it off 1 day before.
Now, Will, one question. Yeah, let's show people when it says number of observations in the third column there. Some people get confused as to what that is. Go ahead.
Think of, as I said, I like trading the earnings. So earnings are the one binary event that if you have done your research, you can come to a very strong probability. I can't guarantee it's 100%, but very close. When that earnings date's going to be. And typically, stocks can have movement around that event. So these observations are the number of earnings events that have been observed where the data is showing you. So we can go above 5, above 6. So that's 6 previous earnings, 7 previous earnings, so on and so forth. So let's do 10 here, above 10. And it will search. And there we have them. And so these are all
so that's got quite a lot. Maybe you want to, like, in that case, maybe you're looking at a different market cap. You set the market cap higher, and you filter.
Cap, we could go, over 10 billion. It filters again, so you're getting bigger, thicker stocks. You could do the next earnings date confirmed. That just will take any, sure.
And then what I love, actually, my favorite feature on this is the win rate. Because I, maybe unlike you, Will, I like to pick winners. You know what I'm saying? So let's pick the winners, man.
Wait. What do you mean by that? Are you saying because you've lived in Costa Rica for 25 years, you're some sort of
winner?
I'm living in Pennsylvania. All right. Well, what win would you like there?
I like 80% winners, man. 80%.
All right. Let's look for 80% winners. Wow, we're down to
there might not be anybody at 80%, but let's see. There it is, man. Google. Love it.
So
there's
Google
80% winner, dude.
So if you looked at the historical Google range and put on a trade 2 weeks before, take it off 1 day before, number of observations 12, there's an 83% win rate over those last 10 observations. This is just a really great feature here.
Again, guys, you can save these filters. I mean, this is where the time frame comes in. I know my friend Patrick's on this today, and he's like, he uses this all the time. But you gotta sit. We're all here. Who wants to waste their time, right? This saves you so much time. You save it. You then plug in your watch list stocks. It's just a super filtering mechanism. It's just awesome. Awesome. I love it.
Love the earnings option
You
strategy.
guys love the chameleon or what? Hit me up in the chat. You love the.
While we're on the earnings again, one thing I didn't mention, I apologize about that, is for premium users, we have an upcoming earnings analysis, which is another great snapshot of upcoming earnings, earnings options to look at the sell, options to look at the buy. If you look at this is in the next 2 weeks, these are implied moves greater than historical average. So for whatever reason, the trading community is bidding up these options. FCAU, the implied move is 22.2%. The average move has been 1.7, max move 5.4. But for most of us who are looking for options that we may want to purchase and know our full spectrum of our risk, we got these implied moves less than the historical average. There may be some great opportunities to look at different options to buy here. Now, again, do your research. Click on the stock. Go see
add
what
it
kind
to your
of
watch
alerts
list
are
again.
popping
You
up.
guys can
Add
hit
it to
the
your
plus button.
again. Let's go through that. Let's do this grub. Love grub. Let's add that to my earnings place right there. Wow, we have some great features. There's a box, get free earnings alerts to your email. Anyone who hasn't done that, highly recommended. It's a quick snapshot of earnings alerts, will come right to your phone.
Actually, one other thing I want to point out, because this is just amazing, which I love. On the top right-hand corner, guys, you see where it says symbol and search? Will, why don't you type, Apple in there or something and click search. And guys, see what happens here. When you search something, check next to that box. It actually adds it, heighten it or highlight it, Will, right along that ticker along the top. So the last one, if you guys are searching stocks or whatever in that box, it actually adds them to the top. How awesome is that? So you get your own personal ticker along the top of the chameleon. It's pretty awesome.
That is a great feature. And also, just so everyone's aware, if they don't know, if you go and click onto our landing page, they all appear here too.
Yep, right along the right-hand side.
And another great feature is you can view the pre-market in the mornings of your ticker. There are so many crazy features on this site.
We could be here all day, man. And I don't want to be here all day. You know why? Because I'm going surfing, man. I'm out of here, dude. I got to get this done.